And once you learn how to do that, then you can bring in all the stakeholders and you can get into programs that'll help you and train you on how to build it. But that first step is you have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast, and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got Startup on the Blocks. So I need you to start coming to Startup on the Blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive, and so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up, and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the lean startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. All the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America. We do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally. And we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and then I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow, send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Startup on the Blocks, Lloyd Richard. And Lloyd is here, he's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Startup on the Blocks.
Yes, I would agree with that. Join Startup on the Blocks. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
You snuck away there for a second, huh?
Bad timing.
Yes. So glad to have you here tonight. I'm looking forward to our conversation and stuff because you got a lot of stuff going on and you got a really good history there. So we're looking forward to having a good chat about your journey and all the things that you've been involved in over the years. So first, let me kind of share my screen here and give a little shout out to our sponsors. Yeah, looks like you got another Chicago guy out there in the audience, JD.
Yes. Hi, JD.
Chicago is in the house.
Oh yeah, Chicago always represents.
Okay, fantastic. I'm glad to see that. Yep. So, alrighty. So let's get this show on the road here into the slideshow mode. Yes. So I think we met through the Blacks in Technology originally, right?
I believe so. It was actually JD Smith who connected me to this program. So I'm very grateful for that connection that took place in 2023.
Yeah, so you both are kind of money people. I know he was in the stocks and stuff like that, and making money that way, and you're in the accounting field, so that's good. So give a big shout out to Blacks in Technology Foundation.
Yes.
Yes, so that's really good. Thanks a lot, JD. Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely a great guy. Alrighty. So definitely like to give a shout out to Blacks in Technology. I don't know if you've been keeping track. They got over 40,000 members now worldwide. That's a lot of folks. Yes.
That is a lot of folks, and that's good because we need as many people as possible in this space.
Yes, that's exactly right. And that's why I was excited to work with the BIT founders and looking forward to getting back working with some more BIT founders. And I spent a little time on that because what I noticed was the Blacks in Technology Foundation actually do a lot of things to try to help Black people get into tech and get free training, et cetera, et cetera. And so with the Cocoa Institute, we tried to do the same thing. So it was a perfect alignment there. But when we got started with our startup on the best practice, our Startup on the Blocks program, we didn't have any training curriculums or anything like that. We just referred people to different training curriculum. So later on, we decided to partner with lean stack, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Have you ever thought about what lean stack? Why Ash name it lean stack?
It's so lean. It's only 9 boxes. It's like a shortcut to taking your idea and turn it into something reality, something that customers can actually buy and what they want.
Yeah, it's getting that, to step out of your head and onto a canvas there. But what do you think about the word stack in there, lean stack? I never thought about it until I heard Ben say something about it in one of, I think it was our last our last session, but maybe before. But then, lean stack, and so what are some of the things you actually like about lean stack?
I like that it has all the components of a business model on one page. So I'm
Okay.
stacking up the business essentials. I'm identifying how much it costs, the customers, the partners, the unique value proposition, the problem, the solution, all of these pieces within 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so you remember you do stress testing for desirability, viability, and feasibility. All of those are tools. So it's got this stack of tools that you use. That's what I never thought about it until Vince said that, and then I asked ChatGPT today, why do they call it lean stack? Well, Vince said it's so clear, but because it does have the tools that you need to stress test your business idea to kind of move forward.
That makes sense. I feel like you learn something new with the lean stack every time you dive into it.
Well, so the thing that attracted me to it was the tools. So the lean canvas is a tool. The traction roadmap thing is a tool. The wide now elevator pitch is a tool. The business small story pitch is a tool. So it's just a bunch of tools that a founder can use to learn how to pitch their business clearly and concisely. You see what I'm saying?
That makes sense. Yeah.
And then when you get in the 90 day, it's got some more tools in there that you can use. And so that's, I think, audience doesn't realize the significance of a platform like that. Yeah. So definitely excited to have we partnered with them to kind of make this available to founders. And then the light bulb thing, the green light bulb, that's startup science. And so I'm not sure why they call it startup science, but ironically, they have tools in startup science too, but they're slightly different tools. There are tools to kind of help you get from one phase of your business to the next phase, whereas the tools in Lean Stack is help you get from one milestone to the next milestone. You see what I'm saying?
But they all work together in some way.
Yeah, they work together. They work together in some way. So like if you're out there as a founder and you don't have tools to work with to build your business, how are you going to build your business?
Exactly. And one question I always had is, where are the tools? What tools do I need? I think that is a challenge when you're starting this journey. You have no idea what you actually need. You have this great idea, but you don't know what you need to pull it off.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so that's the power of the tools. And then like when going back to Lean Stack for a second, that traction roadmap tool, the fact that you're gonna use that tool to determine if your pricing model is viable or if your business model is viable or not, to think that you can do that calculation in just a few minutes, that is a powerful tool.
It is, because you don't have a business if it's not viable, if you cannot make money. And that's so important. Like, what numbers do you need to look at instantly to determine viability?
Yeah, and that's my favorite too. Okay, so we partnered with Coda as well. That's it's for me, it's a tool that you can, if you really wanted to, you could run your whole business back office using Coda because it integrates to almost anything. And so you can bring all your data into one place, and then it has unlimited AI in it that for the first 6 months that you can actually talk to your data questions. So yeah, so that's kind of what I like about that. And we partner with Make Startups mainly because they have a platform, Co-Founder OS, that has AI built into it, but it actually makes sure that you're answering the questions when you apply for a pitch competition, apply for a program, or apply for a bank to get some money. It makes sure that you're answering a question thoroughly and correctly. So that's to me, that's interesting, because a lot of time we'll fill out an application and we put a short description of our business, but what they're looking for is everything that's on that lean canvas. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we had a guest on, Dr. Valencia Bell, and she had won, I think, around 6 pitch competitions.
Wow.
And she did those pitch competitions so she could learn how to pitch her business. But through learning how to pitch her business, I think 3 of her what she called her C-suite, a fractional, help. They actually are the one that's going out doing the sales, but they were actually judges in the pitch competition she participated. They liked her pitch, and this, I want to make this analogy to what we're talking about now, is that, so what her thing was preparing people for the SAT and the ACT. So listen to me good. That sounds, to me, it almost sounds trivial, but she equated that to getting people out of poverty. If you do good on the SAT, and you get into college, you put yourself in a position to make more money. So it's literally the key to unlocking the resources that you need to generate wealth.
And who wouldn't want those results? So
Yeah.
being able to frame it that way, that exposes her to more people buying into her idea. I love that.
Yeah. So the analogy that I wanted to make with the Make Startup, if you learn how to answer the questions thoroughly and correctly, or you get the feedback whether you're answering the question thoroughly or correctly, that's what the benefit is. You get feedback that you're not answering the question correctly, so you can learn how to answer it correctly. But Lean Stack is the answer. It is the key to how to describe your business, but it doesn't give you the feedback that you're actually answering it correctly. But if you see, so Lean Stack is a key to getting all the resources and the help you need to build your business.
Would you say Lean Stack is the beginning of your journey when you're just starting out?
Yes, it is. It is the beginning, because you can't get any help if you can't tell people how you're going to pitch, how you're going to make money with your idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the purpose of it is. But if you think about it, if you understand your business model and how you make money with it, so when you fill out an application to get in a pitch competition, or fill out an application to get in an accelerator program, or a pre-accelerator program, or any program that helps you, it's like you're taking that ACT or SAT. When you fill out that application, that's the SAT analogy to what Dr. Bell was doing.
Exactly.
You see, that's what the deal is. And so, Pitch Bob, they make a lot of tools for founders, AI tools for founders. So basically, it also, it's an AI thing that we partner with, that you can get it for half price, like under $50, and one-time fee, and it actually asks you a bunch of questions, so you learn how, and generates all the documents. So it generates a business model canvas, it generates a business plan, it generates one pager, it generates so many things. But what that's also doing, it's also teaching you how to describe your business on these things.
Yeah, I downloaded Pitch Bob, I believe, last year to test it out. And it asks you these questions so that it can create your entire PowerPoint and business plan for you. That is so helpful.
Yeah, so yeah, it definitely is, and so the Black Innovation Leaders of Florida, Black Innovation Alliance, and Goody Nation. I'll remove that graphic so people can actually see. Um, so those three organizations, so Goody Nation, they support um, uh, Black and Brown founders, but even I remember when I applied for that, it's like goodynation.org. When I applied for that, you had to take an investor readiness type test. So they're screening you based to see if you're ready on how you answer the question.
Mm,
You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's the method they were using. But what they basically do for you is that they help hold you accountable for because you have accountability groups, and they hold you accountable having these weekly meetings where you're reporting out what you did last week, what you're doing this week, and what you plan to do next week. But they have a whole platform that they created of founder resources that could connect you with mentors, connect you with so they built a platform that that you don't need anybody in between to get you connected to an expert in this, an expert in that, an expert. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a powerful platform. They also have a bunch of perks in their platform as well. You see what I'm saying? So all these things help you out because you get to meet with other founders on a regular basis, on a weekly basis.
It's all
And,
about being a part of the ecosystem and knowing what exists.
that
Yes.
well, yeah, I got to turn down my phone. It's I guess somehow or another decided to want to start talking. But you see how you like so Core Institute, we actually, that being a part of that program, it 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 actually helped us learn how to be more accountable and to make progress. And so for me, what it did for me was if I'm seeing these other founders having success, so I got to get off my butt and have some success.
Exactly. And I appreciate you helping us. You're sharing all these resources with us every week, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, so JD is putting you to the test here. You see that
Oh,
question?
wow. We haven't even got started yet.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'll let you answer that question because it looks like what's the most challenging part of the Lean Canvas?
Yeah, if I can give you a quick comment on that, I would say the most challenging part is getting started because when you look at the Lean Canvas tool at first glance, it seems very intimidating. And you hear that it's a shortcut to success. You hear that it shrinks the standard business plan down to one page, but you're also thinking that you have to be perfect in that process. And that perfection, that thought of perfection stalls you from getting started and putting your ideas on paper. So I would say it's taking that leap, getting started so that you can see what works and what doesn't work. You have to have some key assumptions in your Lean Canvas in order to be able to test it.
Yes. So yeah, that's perfectly right. Yeah. So I agree with you. The biggest challenge of the dozen cohorts of that 30-day program we've done, the biggest challenge is founders spend too much time on the Lean Canvas. So the instructions that the class gives, and basically what most people do, they go try to fill it out before they read the material and look at the videos. The videos and the materials tells you how to fill it out. But so most people go and try to fill it out and then they don't know how to answer the questions. And And so, but the instructions say never spend more than 20 minutes on it at any one time because it's a living document. And so that's, if you're a perfectionist, that's counterintuitive. How can I, all you're doing is dumping all the information in your head on the canvas so you can get it out of your head and see it.
Yeah. Once you get over that, which may take some time, depending on how you analyze the situation, but once you get over that mental block, you'll be able to start identifying assumptions and testing your ideas. And that's how you can make progress and see what works and doesn't work. You really want to be able to fail fast. And I know sometimes we weren't taught in school to fail at all. We were taught to get everything right, get all A's. You got rewarded for making certain decisions. And I realized you typically get scolded when things don't go right. But this is a process where you will get scolded if you don't fail, if you don't put yourself out there to fail. And you want to fail the cheapest way possible. And the lean canvas gives you the opportunity to fail without an initial investment from you. And you don't have to spend months before you determine if something works or not. It can be a matter of minutes and days and weeks to test the lean canvas and go through the stress testing of the desirability, feasibility, and viability. So it saves you a bunch of time.
Yes, that's exactly right. Couldn't have said it better myself. And so, but with our program, we couldn't do it without the sponsors. And so these are some of our sponsors, and some of them have been with us since we started. So I definitely appreciate that. From sponsoring pitch competitions to sponsoring our Black Founders Innovation Summit, to sponsoring the paying for the Lean Stack training thing, that platform that we use. Just a host of, for example, like in the Blacks in Technology Foundation, they were paying for the platform, the licenses, so we could offer it to all the founders for free.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's how that worked. And before we had any platforms, Innisfree hotels, we would do pitch competitions, and they would sponsor the pitch competitions and stuff like that as well, to put up the prize money. So all these partners on here and sponsors, they help us pay the bills and stuff like that to kind of keep the ball rolling. So let me get back here. Okay, I went too fast. Okay, so now it's time for you to give us a little short 1 to 2 minute introduction.
A 1 to 2 minute introduction. Yes, keeping it short and sweet. Yeah. Well, I'm Charlene Reinhardt. I started my career in financial services. I worked with financial services companies as an auditor. I was also a financial analyst, worked in a controllers group. And then I decided to take a sabbatical after I won the Miss Corporate America pageant in 2015. What was supposed to be a 1-year sabbatical actually turned into a life-changing, mission-driven adventure of 6 years where I uncovered my gifts and how I wanted to live and lead my life. I ended up writing 3 books: Dividends Are a Queen's Best Friends, How to Find Happiness Again, and Debt Free Before Graduation. And I also started various platforms such as Chicago Southsider, which goes behind the scenes and showcases the hidden stories of Chicago's South Side that people don't always see in mainstream media.
Wow.
How many seconds was that? I'm trying to get it down to 45 seconds.
Oh, that was good. So I was looking at your LinkedIn profile, and I guess I should have looked at it probably 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, because you got a lot going on, lady.
Yes, LinkedIn. Life keeps me busy, but right now I am on a purpose-driven journey. And through my experiences, I realize what I don't want. And I think experiences are so important because they give you that clarity. Either you find out that you want more of something and you keep going in that direction, or you realize I need to change something, I need to do something better. And that's exactly why I turned to the Blacks in Tech Foundation, because I wanted to learn how to develop scalable and repeatable processes. That didn't mean that I would have to be the face or the person doing. I didn't want to work in the business all the time. So I had to rethink about how I thought about my business right now and in the long term.
Yeah, that's so what you just said. So like it's one of the things we do in Lean Stack in the 90-day program. So you were chugging along there, and then so what were you doing? You were doing business stuff. Well, what were you using before that? What made you switch to like with JD and the Blacks in Technology thing to try out the Lean Stack?
I was in various programs. I was in masterminds, which were great, but I realized it was time intensive, not just the mastermind, which was a great program, but it was the work that comes beyond the mastermind, the testing. And I was doing all the things, but the challenging part was I was doing all the things during the time that I was not at my best self. I was getting ready for surgery. And surgery meant that I wouldn't be able to operate the business for a period of time, which means the business would not make any money.
Right.
And so that shifted my thoughts about how I wanted to create a business. So I was trying to think about things that I could automate by creating courses, if I could record various videos, if I could identify other monetization revenue streams that would allow me to take a step back if there were ever times in my career, any other times, where I'm not able to be front and center doing the day-to-day.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a pretty strong reason to want to learn how you do a scalable business model that runs itself. That's the key right there.
That is the key. And for me, initially in my younger years, I love the idea of dividends, and I still do, because if you're not able to work, you can invest in companies that will give you a dividend. They will give you a piece of the profits that will come every month or every 3 months, right? You can build up a dividend portfolio that can actually fund your lifestyle. But guess what? You're depending on somebody else's company to do well in order to keep reaping those benefits. And so I wanted to diversify my portfolio by also thinking about how I, as a business owner, can make sure that I am also bringing in profits and have a great business model that will allow me to live the lifestyle I want.
Yes. Since you are in finance, we have one of our coaches, Corey. He's in this idea of investing in stock that has dividends, but actually using those dividends to actually support you as a founder while yeah. So it's a really neat strategy, but a lot of people are afraid of the stock market, but his approach is dividends pay no matter whether the stock go up or down. And so, yeah.
Exactly. I love dividends because, one, dividends don't discriminate. Two, those dividends keep coming. Even if the stock market goes down, if the company declares a dividend, you can still get access to those dividends if the board of directors declares it. And three, you invest once and those dividends can keep coming forever, right? So you keep investing in those assets to build up the amount that you have in your dividend portfolio, but it's a passive stream of income that can not only support you now, but for the rest of your life, and it keeps growing.
Fantastic. So that's an excellent explanation. So sounds like you and Corey and JD would have a great connection there.
Yes, that was my first book I wrote, and that's what I spent most of my time doing. I'm doing my sabbatical, and afterwards I was creating courses and teaching about dividends, because I realized if you're a busy person trying to do all the things, you need something that will support you in the visions that you have.
Yeah. So would you do me a favor? Both of the books you wrote it, while I'm going through the next few slides, would you kind of put in the chat, maybe do you have like a link to them on Amazon or something?
Sure. Now,
Yeah.
Dividends Are a Queen's Best Friend is a female-friendly book to help women learn how to invest. That was written in 2019. So I'll share that in the chat.
Yeah. And I'll be talking about this stuff while you're doing that. So we have we're talking about our Black Founders Program and the Lean Stack thing. We use that, and so here we're just trying to introduce you to what a business model is and how to leverage AI, to whip your business models. And so, like, if you go to this web link, apply.cocoinstitute.org, you can actually get in our next class, which starts next month, early next month, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, just make sure you get in there and fill out. And we literally, all you have to do is apply, and we let you take the class, so you don't have to worry about whether you're going to get in or not. So our only thing you need to do is get in, and we help you get through the class. And so just be aware of that. And so that's here's the date and timing of all that. So the application is open. Deadline to put in an application to take the class is August 18th, and the class starts on August 12th. And so we give you all the help you need in order to get through. And so for the Florida founders that participate, they can participate in they can do good in the class, and we pick the top 10 folks in the class, and to pitch, and 3 of those people get $1,000 each. So, and this class will be followed by, we would also, while this class is going on, we're going to advertise our 90-day program, and that class, 3 people would split up $5,000. So we're going to be busy the rest to the end of the year. So if you want to learn some stuff, go ahead and fill out that application. And it's literally at this apply.cocoinstitute.org, and you're good. Don't pay attention to the dates on there. Just go ahead and we'll get you in the next cohort. I'll leave that up for a second. Okay, let's get your links out here. Okay, so yep, you got them out there. So everybody look at the name of those books, and so what drove you to write the one about dividends? What kind of inspired you to do that?
Well, I left my job in 2015, and I didn't realize that I did not have a source of income to support me. And the first check I got in the mail was a dividend check from the company I had worked for. I didn't realize that I was investing in a dividend paying company, and I would automatically get dividends every 3 months from that company. And so I realized, wait, if I can get dividends from this one company that I was working for, how many other companies can pay me dividends? And then I went on that journey of building a dividend portfolio that could support my future lifestyle.
Okay, fantastic. And so you thought it would be good to kind of share, that information with other people.
Exactly, how to get started. And a lot of people don't know that you can get started with where you are at work. You may be working for a dividend paying company, and you may be able to reinvest those dividends so that they can continue to grow in the future. Or you can build up dividends in other accounts like an HSA. I had no idea that my health savings account could be invested and turn into dividends that I can use to pay for qualified medical expenses later on, because we all know healthcare expenses can get up there as you age.
Yeah, you're the first one I ever heard that tip from. That's fantastic.
Yes, it's amazing, because I think about the cost of healthcare. Fidelity does these studies on how much healthcare can be for a person age 65 once they're retired. It could be around 300 something $1,000. And so you want to be thinking about different strategies you can use to cover those healthcare costs, because your insurance, Medicare, and other insurance may not cover everything. They don't cover every single thing.
Yes, that's fantastic. So you, JD, and Corey definitely need to hook up.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I'll make sure that happens. Yep. So so it looks like, because they're working to learn more about dividends, I guess get your book, huh?
Yeah, it is more female friendly. When I wrote it, I had women in mind, and we were talking about shopping, because I realized women love to spend money, but we're scared to invest. And guess what? The same companies we're spending money on, we're getting those shoes. A dividend paying company owns that shoe company. What about those beauty products that we have? A dividend paying company might own those beauty products. So why not just get the product, get the profit as well from these companies by investing in them?
Yeah, that's fantastic. But yeah. So like it's interesting to me, with these questions now. And like we had one of our students that just finishing up our summer youth employment program. He wanted to learn how to program this video game thing, and so I was telling him that all he has to do is do like a prompt, in like TaskRabbit or ChatGPT, and it'll create a project for him to go through all the learning steps. And so, but he still didn't get it. So today I got a chance to sit down with him, and I had him do the prompt, and it laid out everything for him, all the stuff he needed to do, the overall. But so in this day and age, we are all self-empowered to learn how to do anything we want to do, leveraging this AI stuff.
That is so true. When I wrote my books, I did not have access to AI on this scale. I didn't have ChatGPT around. I didn't have any of this, and I had to start from scratch. So it was very hard trying to find the resources and what to do when you don't know anybody else who has done it before. But now we do have all of these LLMs that can help us do whatever we want. So I always tell people, what's the goal? Whatever the goal is, it doesn't matter. Let's just ask ChatGPT or any other source how we can get from where we are to where we need to be.
Yes. So let's see something here. I'm gonna give a perfect example, Shirley, and I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Oh no.
So so what I did was, since you were speaking, and I went and I just went and highlighted your whole LinkedIn profile, and then pasted it in the ChatGPT, and I asked it, what are some key insights, based on this profile. And so let's just look at it, Charlene. Expertise with a mission. So you got all your background here. That's a key insight. Her work spans personal finance, media, storytelling, startup, ecosystem building, especially with Black women communities.
That is true.
And then it goes on, founder of Chicago Southsiders. And did it get this one right? It said you were a founder of Wealth of Women Daily?
Yes, that's what I started in 2018. That was my first platform.
Okay.
For investing.
And she's applying lean stack to stress test and refine her business ideas. So I have, in this particular chat that I went in, I had told we were going to be, talking to you about this lean stack thing. And then so nationally recognized leader and speaker, 2x CPA advisor, 40 under 40, 2x Ignition top women in a top 50 women in accounting. So are you saying, so it says top 50 women, and so Ignition, is that something in Chicago, or where is that?
Ignition is actually based in, I believe, in Australia.
So it's a worldwide thing?
It's a worldwide thing, yes.
So 2X top women in accounting worldwide.
Yes.
So that's pretty powerful. Leadership,
Yes.
tax and policy leadership, serves the chair of the Illinois CPA Society Tax Executive Committee. Leads both technical tax issues and DEI initiatives in profession merging finance and community impact. So, and the reason why I did this was, but that's what I'm saying. Like when callers ask that question, a lot of people ask questions. It's so easy to get kind of insights. Award-winning change maker. Is this how you describe yourself, Charlene?
I never described myself as an award-winning change maker, but I like how Chat describes it. Chat always has a way of boosting self-esteem.
Yeah, committed to uplifting others. Life as we climb, lifting as we climb. Okay. So that's one of your slogans?
That was actually a slogan for NABA, National Association of Black Accountants, and our goal was to lift as we climb in our communities.
So it says you were a champion for that. Okay. Service-oriented and community-driven leadership. Okay. So we're going to be talking about Lean Stack. Charlene, isn't just a founder, she's a visionary who uses Lean Stack as a thinking tool to shape and impactful ventures. She brings real-world purpose into scalable startups, financial storytelling, and a powerful story evolving from CPA to media entrepreneur and educator. So
wow.
Yeah.
I need to use ChatGPT more myself when thinking about what I do.
Yeah. But you got it all documented, and that's kind of what the reason that I pulled it up, and just to show you how you can get the kind of insights. And you know what I would do if I were you, Charlene?
What's that?
I would take that, just like that particular chat, and say, based on my experience, what would be a good idea for a startup that I would be excellent at founding.
Yes. I need to use my LinkedIn profile to insert that into ChatGPT and see what it comes up with, because I have asked, based on everything that I plug into ChatGPT and what you know about me already, what would be the best ideas for me? Yeah.
But yeah, so like I know some of the ideas you came up with and some of the things your businesses you have. But it sounds like your background is totally unique. You see what I'm saying? So that automatically means that you can bring value based on your experience, which you already been bringing value through these books and different things, and training. So, so how can you package that into a system that you're uniquely qualified? So who else have that kind of competitive advantage?
Exactly. I really like that we have ChatGPT to refine all of our ideas now, and it takes the days and years of thinking out of the process. I don't need to think on my own. I have a partner that I can be thinking with 24/7. ChatGPT does not turn off, so it's great.
That's good. So I'll just go over this really quick. So with the I started Founders Best Practices, what we're doing here every Thursday night. For next month, it'll be 5 years, every Thursday night, except for holidays. And
congratulations.
And we missed one event because of a hurricane back in 2020 after we got started, but we haven't missed a scheduled event since. But the whole idea is to have a place where founders can come to each week that don't have the opportunity to maybe do stuff in person on a Thursday night. Because I can tell you, all over the country and all over the world, people are at networking events and learning events right now, learning and meeting other founders, learning how to do all this stuff about being a founder. And that's why we're here tonight, because I know a lot of people don't have the access to ability to get to these events where you can learn stuff. And so that's why we do this event each Thursday. But it's all about like designing and pitching these business models and launching your business. The helping you understand how to recruit co-founders and securing mentors and partners. Understanding the startup milestone, lean stack, startup life cycle, startup science, unlocking. If you take advantage of those things, you will unlock so many resources in the startup ecosystem, and it's just amazing that the advantage you have to do that. And so we also have like last week we had the startup science people on, just to kind of go into detail there. Let's see here. And so, so this is just more details about all these platforms that we use. The one I haven't mentioned yet is Patent Hack. So we partnered with the Black Innovation Leaders of Florida. But if you want to learn about patents, you just go to our KakuraInstitute.org Get Started page, and you can fill out the form and you can get access to all the training material. And we also have licensing to allow you to file for a patent or a trademark agency. So very few people are taking advantage of this program right here. Yeah. So we partner with, in collaboration with the Patent Office, we also do this as well. Okay, let's get into this. I used to show this chart every week, but basically, these are kind of like the phases from the Startup Commons. It's a worldwide thing that's open source, everything you need to learn about the ecosystem. If you research Startup Commons on YouTube, it's got all the free training that you ever could imagine on there. So isn't that crazy, Charlene?
It is.
And it's been on there for years.
We just didn't know it existed, right?
Yeah, but but the deal is, we've been trained that you need to get all the stuff you need to launch your business and then start your business. But we don't realize that that's not really the way it works. You just take time from that idea and just go through these phases and get all the help you need while you're going through these phases, so you can launch your business. That's what people don't understand. In the startup world, it's different than the traditional small business world. You start with an idea, you get help at the idea stage, you get money at the idea stage. It's just counterintuitive. I don't have a business yet, and I can actually get money.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was flabbergasted when I realized that this program allows you to pitch an idea. You don't have to have a full-fledged product out there. And I didn't understand that concept. When I started this program, I was like, wait, just an idea? How can I pitch an idea? So this was just a perfect roadmap to show me how to start that.
Yep, that's exactly right. And that's what the stuff is about. We had a founder on, and I met her through the Goody Nation program, and she had an idea, and she went to in Atlanta there. She went to the lawyers there, had a pro bono service, and they told her idea was patentable. And so they did all the patent paperwork for her. She just had to pay the $100 and some patent fee. And then after that, she got $10,000 to turn her idea into reality.
Wow, there's so much money out there if you know how to pitch your idea.
Yeah. Yeah, and so she didn't even have a business. It was just the money, just the form of business.
Lloyd,
Yeah.
I think it's hard for people to internalize that you can actually pitch your idea and people are willing to invest in your idea. You don't need to show the product first. Get the money first, because that will save you money in the long run.
And the other thing that's counterintuitive for people, and I don't say it enough, but all the accelerator programs I've been in all over the world, I didn't have to pay anything to get in those programs. And they gave me money and did all kinds of stuff. And so that's what the significance of pitching your business model is, that you, yeah, it's crazy, but we've been brainwashed that we have to pay for everything. We have to have money for everything. And that's not the case. But that's what's so powerful about the lean stack, is that's why you learn how to pitch your business model, how you make money with your business model. And it's counterintuitive, but that's what the deal is. And this is the startup sciences chart. And it's talking about all the phases that you take your business through. And so it's a significant thing there. Okay, and then let's go to the next one here, and then we get to the lean stack, and yeah, so it's this chart is a mouthful, but let me see if I got a simpler one here. Okay, let's use this one. Believe it or not, so you see this green part here, that's equivalent to these first two columns here. And then you go to this orange part here, this part up here, that's equivalent to this pink part, the stuff in the pink. And so even it's actually saying the exact same thing, Charlene. Did you realize that?
I did not.
Yeah. So like on this chart, when you see the dotted lines to the left there, that's the first week of the business model design course, where you spend 20 minutes. Let's see, you spend 20 minutes with your big idea canvas, and then writing stuff down. But you have to kind of go through the reading material in the class, and also the videos in the class. But even when you're actually at this, because this little icon here, it's got 9 blocks on it. That is your lean canvas. But when you're actually in there filling it out, it has a video in each block that explains to you how to do it as well. And then when you go from this big idea canvas to the next 5 different canvases, but all it is just a canvas for each customer segment in your idea. So
it took me a while to digest that, Lloyd. There's this big idea canvas where you dump everything on it. And then you move on to your variant canvases where you go customer segments. You focus on one customer segment at a time and the problem that they have.
Yes.
It took me time to connect those dots.
Yeah, but yeah, and so yeah, this chart actually explains everything. But if you notice, you start out with this big idea canvas on the left, and so it's 1-page business plan. But you go over to the right as you make progress through time, you end up with one customer segment on the right. So the whole lean stack is teaching you how to get to your target market, your early adopters.
That's pretty cool. The process looks so simple right here, but you have to just be able to digest what you're seeing right here to make sense of it, to go from where you are with a big idea.
You remember on Shark Tank and all these things, they always say, what is your target market?
Yes.
Okay. And so the reason why they ask you that is because they know it's impossible to market to all the customers. So you focus on a target segment of that customer base, of that potential market.
Yes. I think that was probably one of the hardest lessons I had to learn. And I didn't learn that until I did the customer discovery interviews. But
Yeah,
I had to really get it into my head that everybody is not your customer. Because if you're serving everybody, you're actually serving nobody.
right. That's it. But it costs money to advertise to those people.
It does, money and time to advertise to different buckets of people. So you're probably losing money trying to serve everybody.
Yeah.
And you're not standing out. You have no unique value. You're like a substandard product because you're not specializing in anybody's needs.
Is that Chicago Fire Station?
Yes, I don't know what's going on here.
Well, don't worry about it. But I just thought I'd do the Chicago Fire. The South Side isn't the south, close to the South Side where they have those movies and TV shows were shot from. I think so.
It's not all the episodes. It's about various parts of the city.
Okay, gotcha. Yes. Okay. But and so just to get everybody on the same sheet, these little pinkish blocks in the like in this that just to the left of the first set line of dash lines, the column here, it's got 3 red blocks in it. So, and that's for the desirability. And so the first to the right there is the customer segment. So this is showing you got 5 different customer segments, and then the stress test for desirability is you're saying for this customer segment, they have this problem over to the left there. That's the problem segment, and they're using this type of tool now, and that tool is broken, and so we're going to bring them value. Our solution is going to bring them actually value in the middle. That's the value proposition. And so the irony of this thing is when you're doing your 30-second, is your why now elevator pitch, you're not even mentioning your solution. You mention how your solution actually solves the problem that customer segment has. And so that's what the deal is. And you only do this like in your head, you said to you in your head. And if it doesn't sound like it's good for that customer segment, then you shouldn't be spending desirable for that customer segment. You shouldn't be focused on. And then the next column, stress test for viability, it's only focused on your price that you're charging the customer each month or each year, and your metrics associated with that. So, and this is where you do the viability test, where you only need like 7 numbers, and you can determine the viability of your business idea. And so what this is showing, you went from 5 variants, and when you went through desirability, you eliminated 1. Now you're doing the viability, because the one customer segment. So a business, if a business is one of your customer segment and an individual is one of your customer segment, the individual may not be willing to may not be as desirable for the individual, but it may be desirable for the business. And so you focus on the businesses as opposed to the individual customers. And then so this one is showing that one of your segments doesn't pass the viability test because you can't bring enough value to them at the right price. Or you can't, so the bottom line is you can't make enough money. Your business won't survive with that particular, you can't reach your goal with that particular customer segment. Because this was based on what your goal is in 3 years. So you eliminate 1 there, and then you get into your feasibility, and that's more with the cost, your solution, your unfair advantage, and your marketing channels. Yeah. So, and then all this stuff that you create going through these tests, you end up putting it in your business model story pitch. And that's what's so neat about the thing. All the time you spend you actually put in the stuff. You get that stuff because it goes in your business model story pitch. So I got a question for you, Charlene. So basically, going through the people who don't think they have time to go through this process, do you ever work on anything other than your business?
Oh yeah.
Right.
I have a full plate, yes.
Yeah, but what I mean is so you have, I don't mean it that way. So when you're spending time doing this, you're spending time working on your business, right?
Right.
Yeah. So if you're trying to reach your goal with your business and you don't spend time working on your business, how are you going to reach your goal?
Exactly. This is a part of your business. And that was another awakening that I had to have during this process. I was actually experimenting with this for an AI generated podcast that I wanted to do. And I identified my key assumptions and my big idea. And then I did various variants. And while I was testing this, I realized that it would cost too much for me to do this business model, and it would take some time for me to build some clients doing that model. And so I pivoted to a newsletter monetization idea. And I realized that the customer segment that I had in mind as my ideal audience, I was completely wrong. And if I would have continued on that path, it would have just wasted my time and money. But by doing the customer discovery interviews, I got on the phone and spoke to a variety of audiences and hit the nail on one specific audience. I realized it was a match when it came to pricing and what we offered, because they understood the value of what we offered, because they were already working with other people. They had other people they would advertise with or sponsor newsletters for. My original audience, they needed education on what I wanted to offer. So they didn't understand the value. And so if you have to educate your audience, they're not going to pay a certain price point because they don't see it as valuable. They are not already doing it. That was another piece I realized. There has to be a switching trigger. The audience has to have pain from what they're already doing in order to switch to yours. And the audience that I found, they realized that they wanted to tap into my hyper-local audience that nobody else really has a close relationship with. And so that was my unique value proposition. But I had to speak to a ton of people to understand their needs, interests, who they were currently working with, just get a better idea of what else was in the market that they could potentially be using or why they weren't using anything at all. And it just helped me better align my pricing structure with the value that I offered.
Fantastic. Couldn't have said it better. But I want you to start using the term problem discovery interviews instead of customer discovery interviews, because that's what it's called, problem discovery interviews. You're trying to figure out what problems, what job that customer has to do. And then you're trying to come up with the customer forces story that describes that job and what it takes to get that person to switch. So you're actually you're interviewing people not to get them as customers. You're interviewing people to find out why they switched from buying one product in the last 90 days to another product, or why they switched from not using any product to switching to the product they currently bought.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're trying to you're actually building, by doing this, when you're building the customer forces story, which allows you to do your marketing correctly.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? because you know the pain the customer have, and so your marketing is going to say, you might be struggling from this or that, and so we know, we understand and feel your pain, but our thing overcomes that. So it's like that's why they call it the customer forces. From those problem discovery interviews, you generate the customer forces story, So the thing that caused the person to switch.
Yeah, and that's another piece of the pie. You have to have the right lingo. What are those words that they are using to describe the problems that they have? And you use that in your marketing.
Yeah. And so like this early stage of the deal is it's like you're just trying to find the switching things as opposed to but it's you don't have to get into all the details, but the bottom line, that's what the 90-day is about. And so you go from finding those, you do 2 sprints, one for the customer segments you have left on your on this, I'll just put it here. So this is at and when you get to the pink, you have already created your business model story pitch, and as you see when you cross from the white to the pink, you're trying to figure out how you're still trying to figure out how to get rid of some of these customer segments and you do that through this doing these interviews, problem discovery interviews. And so you do 2 weeks of a wide range of customers things, and then you do 2 weeks of these same interviews to a narrow match based on what you found. And so you narrow. So this is the thing that gets you to narrow down the customer segment. And so, and then at that point, when you go transitioning to the white part again, you've learned all the things you need to get the customer to switch, and you learn how to do a sales pitch, a mafia offer to that particular market. And then if that mafia offer turns, you have an 80% success rate in your pitch to them, then you figured everything out. Yeah. And so for all those people that spend all that time at the beginning on their big idea canvas, you see those red things don't turn green to way out there. So you spend all that time, you still got to prove it later on.
So there's a process to progress. You have to go through the process.
Yes. Yeah. So are there any last minute questions out there? Because I've been just going a little slower than I probably should have. Yeah. But I kind of just wanted to make sure people understand that this Lean Stack platform, it literally has the tools that you need to grow your business.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for the questions. If there are any questions that I did not answer, feel free to message me on LinkedIn. I'm at Charlene Reinhardt on LinkedIn, and on Instagram at Charlene Reinhardt, and on Facebook, Charlene D. Reinhardt.
Yeah. So Charlene, my biggest takeaway from, for you is you got such a diverse background, and it's pretty, you got such a success trail behind you, and so it's leveraging what all you do, and so you in the businesses that you have, and so wouldn't it be interesting if you could find, so if they trust you already, and you find a way to offer more value with an additional product, so you already got that strong relationship with them.
Exactly. That's why I realized I need to keep leveraging ChatGPT and the other LLMs to figure out what that thing is, and keep doing the lean canvas so that I can test out these assumptions that I have.
And that's the only purpose of the Lean Stack platform. It's the quickest way to test out an idea by taking it through that process. You can literally, because once you learn how to do it, it doesn't take 30 days to stress test your business model. Once you learn how to do it, you can do it in a few days.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the 90-day part of it takes a little longer, but you at least you know how to do that process, and you could do to figure out what the customer forces story is on that too, and design a solution and an offer in a much shorter period of time. But it's literally the fastest way to test your ideas and most people think their first idea is the best idea. And the interesting thing is that it's very rare that your first idea is the best idea. You see what I'm saying? So and Ash says it takes about 4 ideas before you actually get to the best one.
Yeah, and then you learn how to think about ideas faster. Now I have a different process. Anytime I have an idea, I'm thinking, okay, what are the resources needed? What is it going to cost? What is the true problem here?
Yeah. How can financial influencers leverage the lean canvas for content creation?
Well, you can definitely leverage. So you leverage your LLM and the lean canvas, right? ChatGPT gives you ideas, and then you test those ideas through the lean canvas. So let's say you want to focus on a specific area of finance. Give ChatGPT all of those different characteristics of your business and what you want to do, and then insert it into the lean canvas, and then stress test it.
So he said, so it sounds like so you have a content creation business around financial influences. So to me, what the first thing I would do, JD and Charlene, is I would say I'm a financial influencer and I want to create a business model around content creation because I am a financial influencer. So you both are. So what I would do, I would just put that as a business idea in the financial industry and then run the business idea prompt and see what it says on how you can actually how you can make money with that. And go in it. So that's what we neglected to tell people. So we provide you with a business idea prompt that takes you through all the deliverables in the Lean Stack course. So our business idea prompt, it does all the deliverables for the 30-day course in less than 5 minutes. So now you know what the deliverables look like, and you still have to go through the process in the platform, but it at least gives you a way to write and articulate clearly what that is. I think that's a really good thing. So Charlene, you might want to take a screenshot of that and then to turn that into a business idea and then run the business idea prompt.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then put the results of the business idea prompt into Notebook LM and let it show a mind map of all the stuff that ChatGPT created, and then generate the podcast and listen to the podcast and ask the podcast questions about that business idea.
Yeah, I realized that this process is also about learning fast and getting data as fast as you can. And so I have had to make sure that I'm open to ideas during this process, and I test it out as soon as I can and get valuable data and feedback as soon as I can so I can determine which direction I want to go in.
Yeah, and so it's no way people are not going to respect you because of your background. So when you generate content, they're gonna listen to it based on your expertise, and stuff like that. And so that's kind of what the deal is. So you got all the credentials you need. It's just, and you already got an audience. And so the question is, how can you leverage that audience to do some upselling, to kind of move forward. But any last minute advice you want to give to founders out there and moving forward with their business ideas or businesses?
I would say keep going through the process. It takes process to really achieve the progress that you want. You are not going to go from A to Z overnight. And I think that stops some people. You have to take those steps, make those tiny tweaks to your business process, and seek the feedback you need as soon as possible, because that's the only way that you're going to determine if it's good or not, right? Reach out to your users when you get to that point engage people in the process, find out what the true problems are, and test them out. Don't be afraid to put your assumptions through the business model canvas. Test it out, stress test for desirability, feasibility, viability, and keep doing it over and over and over again. I've had to do this process a ton of times. I'm still doing it so that I can become better and think faster. We have to think more efficiently in this process. And the only way you're going to do it is through repetition. So put yourself out there and keep going.
Yeah. And this process gets you out of the way of your business idea. It literally gets you out of the way because most people stand in the way of their business idea. And so like once you go through this process, or if you listen to your business idea, because the AI can take, your business idea and synthesize it for you. And then with the Notebook LM, you can listen to what the two podcasters are saying about your business idea. And the most fantastic thing about it is you can join the podcast and ask the two podcasters questions, and they will answer the question because they understand they have synthesized the results of your business planning from that business idea prompt. And it's literally that simple that you can. And the business idea prompt is totally based on the lean stack 30-day plan. Yeah. So we got that, and then Jasmine, just saying thank you. All right, I think we wore them out tonight, Charlene.
I think so. Gave a lot of good information. Hopefully, it was great.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed it, and I think you have what it takes to do whatever you want to do, and be successful at it. And I really appreciate you coming on and actually sharing with everybody.
Thank you again for providing the resources, so that we can be focused on this journey.
Okay. This week we were supposed to have our demo day for the cohort 5, but we're going to do that next Thursday. So we need all the people that are participating in this to get ready and reach out and get the help you need to do it. So are you planning on pitching in that, Charlene?
I do not know.
Well, no, are you planning on it, or are you not?
I don't know. I will know this weekend.
Okay. Well, but so listen to me. The only way you get feedback, so you're trying to count yourself out. So you get feedback, by participating, and the more feedback you get, the quicker you can move forward. That's the best thing that anybody can do is participate in a pitch competition to get feedback about what they're doing.
Yes. I just gave birth to one of my ideas, so I was thinking about fleshing it out even more. But
no. So the way you flesh it out is through feedback.
Yes.
That's the way you flesh it out. You getting in the way of your own idea, because the quicker you get feedback, the better off you're gonna be, because when the judges are listening to what you say, they're gonna give you the feedback. That's gonna be the fleshing out that you actually need. And then if they like what you're doing, they're gonna suggest ways that you can help. But see, so when you keep it to yourself and try to study, you're making a mistake.
Yes, if you want to be pushed into purpose, make sure you join Lloyd's program, because he will definitely do that.
Yeah. So and that's a mistake. So that's the other mentality that you have to break out of. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yes, and that's what I said. That was one of the pieces of this process I had to overcome, and I think I'm still in that process, because if you create an idea one day and then pitch it another day, that is definitely a scary thought, because you have to have the framework. Yeah.
That's exactly right. But like I'm telling you, the people see, so you get so much visibility when you pitch, and people know you're trying, and so you literally get the help you need to do what you're doing. I can't say that enough. All right, we're gonna get on up here. Appreciate everything, Charlene. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Lloyd. Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.